The best poetry for me is something that reminds us of something we've forgotten, or shows us something that we didn't know about, or sometimes just gives us a cheap laugh. This first poem is based on a real life experience at a beer festival. Anybody been to a beer festival? Beer festivals, in my experience, are largely populated by men of a certain age who believe that the alcohol improves their attractiveness. He's knocking back another pint. He doesn't want an awful sight. He thinks that he will last the night. He won't. That's what his friends know. Now his jokes are getting louder. Hopes his friends have got some powder. Really couldn't be more prouder as his bladder starts to blow. The room's now moving round him. 2 more pints follow down his chin. The lights inside him getting dim. He won't be going yet though. Oh, just one more, I'll get these more. Oh wait, I'll go on, here's a score or anything, but get me crisps. He drops his glass, falls on his arse, can't find his bus pass, I'm going home. Then in his chair, kebab in hair, he didn't pull, it was just a dare, I didn't fancy her, no. At 3 a.m, like other men who think that when they're drunk they let the pain go, remembered shouts, the knockabouts and guts in doubt, he hates to get this low, so he's reaching for another pint. This is about realizing your true love after all. Will you let me be your Johnny Clark? I want to be your dog that barks. Will be the voices in the dark watching box sets of Poldark. Will you let me be your school caretaker, your Saturday night defibrillator? With you I'll be the masticator. Could you be my blotting paper? Will you be forever home and call, not text, it's called a phone. Expect to give the dog a bone. On your coffee I'll be the foam. Will you react favourably, put the baton in boulangerie, read my poems out in threes, foreplay horizontally? Will you love me like a horse? I've got the house band special sauce, eat kimchi till my voice is hoarse, our loving will be coarse, of course. Will you be my final date? I am implying mortal mate, don't delay, don't hesitate, might not be bad, might not be great. Will you listen to me moan? On me she shat, that bird has flown. I want to pack my dripping phone in your sack of sushi rice. There are only 2 social classes. If you don't know this already, it's really important. There are those who live on capital, and there's the rest of us. I realise I've never done this before, I realise I'm standing in a book called Tory Nation. I'm assuming this is a sympathetic background. In days of old, the wealthy placed their mediocre children in India or Africa to exercise dominion. With empire gone, Odeon too, they're hustled into places like media, arts and rock and roll and pushed out common faces. They'll never embrace labour though, it's far too tough for posh folk who think that they've placed one up their arses, that's for sure. In days to come, it's artisans they'll be, because by then AI will have replaced the last consultancies while we sit by the roaring of the sea. Yeah, it's difficult to know when to make any noise, isn't it? But top tip all the time, please. Now, yeah, thanks very much for that. Yeah. Now, I was born and bred in northeast Essex, which might sound a little bit parochial, but that's pretty much Suffolk, which means it has an accent, not this accent. And when I wrote this, I tried to write it in the accent of my birth years, which I'm sure you can imagine was about 200 years ago. This is called Found Him Dead with an Acrobat. Twisted round her little finger, half a clown and part-time singer, high wire act, bit of a minger, ex-stunt double, Corporal Klinger. Found him dead with an acrobat. Diclofenac spread round flat, duvet bunched round plates of meat, fish for dinner, special treat. This is what the papers spat, found him dead with an acrobat. Hoping for a decent send-off, garage flowers, hacking cough, skin on fire, heart of ice, try the rhubarb, really nice. Elephant's ears, Dactari's trunk, gluten-free still got him drunk. No one knew, but no one asked, thought that he'd been played for laughs. Tried his best, then failed at that. Ready reckoned, scored as twat. Didn't mean to hurt the cat. Found him dead with an acrobat. Found him dead with an acrobat. Went in first, but last a bat. The dirty, rotten, stinking rat found him dead with an acrobat. This next statement is true, but I feel really awkward about it, so I hope we can all group hug and pre-forgive. In the mail the other day, I got a certificate for a qualification in dementia, and I'd completely forgotten that I'd done the course. It's coming, guys. It's coming. Right. So this is not at all funny. This one, as indeed maybe it's the others weren't. But this is reflections on what I see dementia doing to people. Of all the stuff I have forgotten, some details never escape me. The last to leave, the air I breathe, our senses held in common. The scent of you, of morning dew and love in laundered cotton. What sun remains through fevered fog dances through my eyes. I am not gone, just cannot find the lyrics to my song. Please know that you can only guess at what I still retain, and if I rail against the world, it's never you I hate. For at the heart of all I am, I'm pretty much the same. Okay, so I post a poem every 2 days on Facebook, and I always think that's great if you put a topical picture. This one I made the major mistake of posting a real photograph of my actual fridge. As a poem, this has achieved more comments than anything else I've ever written, and it's mostly, what the hell is that brown stuff? And the likes, but it's about love. It's a metaphor, or a fridge, I don't know. It's called Does the Light Ever Go Out? In the refrigerator of our love remains leftovers of desire chilling, with the dishes best served cold. In the cool bag of our love remains consomme stains and mashed plantains. In the icebox of our love, midst cold cuts and crisper, is a complete absence of whispers. Anybody been to the Royal Academy and seen the summer exhibition?
Not yet.
What?
Not yet. It just opened.
I did. I think you speak for everybody now.
It just opened.
Or possibly ever. But, basically what it is it's like there's an awful lot of pieces of art that, lay before us to appreciate, right? Oh, dear. It's called Within These Walls. Without 1,600 laid before me, what do I know of art? The famous, fated, loved and hated, overlooked and overrated, tucked away and understated. Without price list and dots of red, what do I know of art? I've even read the glossary, but where are the faces? Oh, there are the faces, or traces of faces, I guess. Without the cues of social mark, what do I know of art? Birkenstocks and sneakers, summer dress and linen suit, shoulder bag and mobile phones, straw hat, pork pie, baseball cap. Without a guide, I'll trust my heart. That's what I know of art. That stirs my soul, connects me to the heart that made their art for me. And finally, this is a homecoming. This is real sociology. This is. I lived just down the road 40 years ago. Right? That's quite possibly before some of your parents were born. Yeah, pretty distressing thought. Well, not for you, obviously. I'm sure they're quite pleased. But long story short, it's changed. It's changed a lot. At the time, the only deliveries you could get were from midwives, right, for a start. But I went to Brixton yesterday. Oh my word! I was like, "What the? No! What?" Anyway, this is observations on people, places, and plates. It's called Back to Front. When they told me that you no longer had a black heart, but I remembered where we first knew electricity. Now in the Japanese kitchen, itadakimasu has become eat a duck and a mouse. And the FOMO is Omo, whiter than white, and the dole has become hot yoga. That your corazon is now en Espanol, and the bank's where you go for a poke. In the 2020s, the 20 speak as young Americans who no longer know where to go, where the 80s from the 1980s went for Aki. Thank you very much.